Hello, my name is Suchitra Khandale, and today's video topic is JVM architecture. In a Java, uh, we know only bytecode will be executed by the JRE Java runtime environment, but we don't know the fact that JRE is the uh, implementation of Java Virtual Machine. JVM, which analyzes the bytecode, interprets the code, and executes its. It is very important as a developer that we know the architecture of the JVM, as it enable us to write the code more efficiently. In this, the article uh, will learn more deeply about the JVM architecture in a Java and different components of the JVM. Now we see what is JVM. JVM is a virtual machine, is a software implementation of physical machine. Java was developed with the concept of VORA, write once and run anywhere. Means we can write the Java code at only one time, and we can run it on anywhere on any machine which runs on VM. The compiler compiles the Java file into a java.class file. Then that class file that class file is an input into the JVM, which loads and executes the class file. In a JVM architecture consists uh, class loader, uh, uh, class loader in that bootstrap class loader, extension class loader, application class loader, and it contain linking in that verify, prepare, and resolves, and initialize, and last is initialization. And it also contains a stack area, execution engine. Now we see how does JVM work. uh, JVM is divided into three main subsystems: is class loader subsystem, runtime data area, and execution engine. In that, first we see what is class loader subsystem. Java dynamic class loading functionality is handling by the class loader subsystem. It loads links and initialize the class files when it refers to a class for the first time at a runtime, not a compile time. In that loading, class will be loaded by this component: bootstrap class loader, extension class loader, and application class loader are the three class loaders that will help to achieving it. Now first see what is bootstrap class loader. The responsible for loading bootstrap class loader is responsible for loading the classes from the bootstrap class path. Nothing but rt.jar highest priority will be given to this class loader. Next is extension class loader. Extension class loader is responsible for loading the classes which are inside the ext folder, JRE or LIV. Third is application class loader. Application class loader is responsible for loading the application level class path. It mention the environment variable and etc. Now we see what is linking. In linking, there are three types: verify, prepare, and resolve. Now, what is verify? Bytecode verifier will be verify whether the generated bytecode is a proper or not. If verification fails, we will get the verification error. Next is prepare. For all static variable, memory will be allocated and assigned with the default values. Third is resolved. All the symbolic memory references are replaced with the original reference from the method area. Next is initialization. This is the final phase of class loading. Uh, Here all static variable will be assigned with the original values and static block will be executed. Now we see runtime data area. The runtime data area is divided into 5 major components. First is method area, second is heap area, third is stack area. Uh, in that first we see what is an heap area, method area. Uh, all the class all the class level data will be stored in the method area, including static variable. There is only one method area per JVM, and it is shared resources. Now, what is heap area? Heap area, all the objects and their corresponding instance variable and arrays will be stored into the heap area. There is also one heap area per JVM. Since the method and heap areas share the memory for the multiple threads, the data stored is not thread safe. Next is stack area. For every thread, a separate runtime stack will be created for every method call. One entry will be made in the stack memory, which is called stack frame. All local variable will be created in the stack memory. The stack area thread safe in safe since it is not shared resources. The stack frame divided into the three types. First is the local variable array, operand stack, and frame data. In that, what is a local variable array? The local variable array is related to the method how many local variables are involved, and the corresponding value will be stored here. Operand stack. If any intermediate operation is required to perform the operand stack, act as a runtime workspace to perform the operation. Now frame data. All symbol corresponding to the method is stored in the case of exception. The catch block information will be maintained the frame data. Next is PC register. Each thread will have a separate PC register to hold the address of the current executing instruction. Once the instruction is executed, the register will be updated with the next instruction. Now next is native method stack. Native method stack holds native method information for every thread. A separate native method stack will be created. Third is execution engine. The uh, byte code which is assigned to the runtime data will be executed by the execution engine. The execution engines reads the byte code and execute the piece by piece. In that interpreter, the interpreter interprets the bytecode faster but executes slowly. The disadvantage of the interpreter is that when a method is called multiple times, every time a new interpretation is required. Next is JIT compiler. The JIT compiler neutralizes the disadvantage of the interpreter. The execution engine will be using the help of the interpreter. It converting bytecode, but when it finds repeated code, it uses JIT compiler, which compiles the entire bytecode and changes it to native code. This native code will be used directly for the repeated method calls, which improve the performance of the system. Now, intermediate code generator. Intermediate code generator produce the intermediate code, and code optimizer for optimizing the intermediate code generated. Now we see what is garbage collector. Collecting and collects and removes a unreferenced object. Garbage collection can be triggered by calling system.gc, but the execution not guaranteed. Garbage collection of the JVM collects the objects that are created. Now we see what is an Java native interface, JNI. JNI will be interacting with the native method libraries and provides the native libraries required for the execution engine. Now we see what is a native method libraries. This is a collection of the native libraries which is required for the execution engine. This is all about the JVM architecture. I think I'm done with this topic. So thank you.